Oh, the Game Boy. Many childhood journeys were occupied with the almost constant barrage of the system's blockbuster games, such as Zelda and Pokémon. Pokémon Blue is still the superior game when it comes to options, even now with the PlayStation and Xbox. The Game Boy is among the most well-known and successful portable video games ever, and its simplicity and user-friendly controls may have contributed to this. So, today, we are going to look in a few minutes at 12 interesting facts regarding this video game emblem here. Let's dive in! Fact 1. During his TM-17 space mission in 1993, Soviet cosmonaut Alexander A. Serebrov brought his Game Boy into orbit. It is said to have orbited the planet 3,000 times, and it was later sold at auction for $1,220. Fact 2. A Game Boy that survived the Gulf War barracks explosion is proudly on display at the Nintendo World Store in New York. The broken portable still shows a clear picture. Can you believe that? Fact 3. Even before becoming available on the PC, Tetris was a big hit on the Game Boy. It sold, primarily to casual gamers, 35 million copies. Fact 4. Because the initial Game Boy screen had just 4 shades of gray and no illumination, it could operate for 30 hours on 2 AA batteries. Fact 5. In 1995, Nintendo revealed that 46% of Game Boy users were female, the highest percentage of any system among women at the time. According to 2014 research, 52% of gamers are women. Fact 6. Before ending production in 2000, the Game Boy and Game Boy Color sold 118.69 million copies, which was more than the combined sales of the Atari Lynx and Sega Genesis. Fact 7. The idea of monsters running through the Game Boy's connection wires inspired Satoshi Tajiri to design the first 3 Pokémon games, Red, Green, and Blue for the console. Green was only accessible in Japan and had poor visual quality. Fact 8. For those used to the original Game Boy, which required an additional clip light once it became even remotely dark, the Game Boy Light, a Japanese-only product, was an absurd idea because it included an integrated backlight screen that let users play in low light. Fact 9. Game Boy may be charged with being responsible for the emergence of the photo, as they offered an external camera and printer for their portable device. The camera captured low-resolution pictures of the user. Fact 10. With 8-bit processors and 4 times the RAM, the NES had 2 KB while the Game Boy had 8 KB. The original Game Boy surpassed the NES by an average of over 2. Fact 11. The favorite instrument of chiptune artists, musicians who create electronic music using retro gaming hardware, is the Game Boy. Artists may program the instrument to produce a variety of unusual sounds by using certain sequencer cassettes. Fact 12. Constructed more like a spaceship than a gaming system, the Handy Boy was an unusual extension for the Gaming Boy that included stereo speakers, a magnifying glass, and a light. Whatever your opinion of the device, you have to recognize the absolutely simple and yet addicting nature of the games. The sheer sales numbers of the games and console demonstrate the popularity of the Game Boy. The Game Boy gave rise to a huge number of beloved games, some of which, like Pokémon, are still popular today. The Game Boy is a genuine icon that will always be remembered in the video game industry. From its modest origins in 1989 to its rise to worldwide fame, this little portable console has won over millions of hearts. Like with many old structures, the handheld has a huge fan base, and anything that survives being bombed deserves some respect. Thank you for joining me on this nostalgic journey about Game Boy here at Micro Playzone. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more gaming content. See you soon!